Hey team! Today we are going to do a back bending flow. It's going to be all about strength as much as it is about flexibility, lots of movement, and I really hope that you like it. We are going to start our practice lying on our bellies in Sphinx pose, so if you just want to make your way there. Okay. So, coming down to your forearms, and just feeling the outer edges of your arms down, and then rooting down through the hips and pulling the lower belly up and in. And then rather than kind of like dropping your chest down to the ground, can you spin the tops of the shoulders back and then pull the chest through the arms. And taking a few breaths here, magnetizing the inner thighs together, magnetize the inner ankles together. And still pull the chest forward, really broaden through the collarbones, spin the tops of the shoulders back. And with every single exhale, it's like you're kind of melting the chest down, but also forward. And cinching in the sides of the waist, keep squeezing the inner thighs. Now you can stay here, or you can lift the elbows a little bit. You don't have to, and try not to kind of like hunch up into the ears. Instead, shoulders stay back. You're pulling the hands back towards the toes, still cinching in the sides of the waist, squeezing the elbows in towards the midline. Lower belly pulls up and in, and the chest pulls forward. Okay, take a full breath in. Take a full breath out, shoulder blades down, cinch in the sides of the waist, and then exhale to lower all the way down. So just bring your hands by your fingertip, by your rib cage, and squeeze your elbows towards each other behind you. So your fingers are quite light here. You're going to squeeze the inner ankles, pull the navel up towards the spine, tuck the tailbone, and then ripple the upper body off the ground. And squeeze the elbows, puff up the chest, inch in the sides of the waist, let the glutes squeeze, and then exhale, ripple all the way back down. And then go again. Sides of the waist draw in, low belly pulls away from the earth, inhale. Shoulders back and down, pull the hands back towards the toes, and then exhale, ripple all the way back. And we'll do one more inhale. Low belly pulls up and in, cinch in the sides of the waist, squeeze the inner thighs, shoulders roll back, puff the chest. And exhale, ripple all the way back down. And then bring the hands down flat, tuck your toes. And we'll go straight back into a downward facing dog, so just lift the hips up nice and high. Okay. Now often what we do when we first get into a downward dog is we move, but I just want you to find some stillness first. So root down into the base of the thumb and into your index knuckle. Gently pull the arm bones back into their sockets as you send your heart towards your fingers. Low belly pulls up and in, sitting bones lift nice and high. Take a full breath in through the nose. Take a full breath out through the nose. See if you can avoid moving. Do that one more time. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, come onto your tiptoes. Bend your knees and come all the way down for hands and knees. Okay, spin your biceps forward, your triceps back. So again, there's this width across the collarbones. Cinch in the sides of the waist as you magnetize your inner thighs together. And then inhale. Tailbone lifts, belly drops. Pull the chest forward between the arms and look up. On your exhale, root down through the index, knuckle the thumb. Pull navel to spine as you round the spine and tuck the chin. And then we'll go again. Inhale. Tailbone lifts, heart lifts. Pull the chest forward between the arms. Gaze, come nice and high. Exhale, hollow the belly. Pull up from the belly button. Press through the hands, tuck the chin. One more. Inhale. Tailbone lifts, heart lifts, look up. Exhale, round, hollow the belly, root the fingers. And then inhale, flat back, neutral spine, whatever you want to call it, and then come up onto your fingertips. Now magnetize all the fingers towards the center of the palms. Biceps still spinning forward, triceps still spinning back. Now you have these active arms from here. Cinch in the sides of the waist, squeeze the inner thighs. Lift the tailbone, drop the belly, and then pull the hands back to the knees. Pull the shoulder blades down as you lift the chest forward and through and look up. Exhale, pull up, hollow the belly, round the spine, tuck the chin. Go again, inhale. Everything draws towards the midline, inner thighs, thumbs, and then belly drops. Pull the chest through the arms, look up. One more round, hollow the belly, tug the chin, press the hands down. And then flatten the palms, tuck your toes, and come back into a downward facing dog. Okay. Biceps still spinning high, triceps still spinning low, spinning the inner thighs towards the sky. If you want to move this time, feel free, so you can pedal into the legs, twist out the hips. Just make it feel a little bit more comfy in your downward facing dog. Okay, and find some stillness again. And take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, bend your knees, bring your gaze to your hands. You can walk, step. If you're ready to hop, feel free, but bring the feet all the way behind the hands. So feet about hip distance apart, bend the knees. Still squeezing the inner thighs together, inhale. Take your arms all the way up to the sky, Utkatasana, chair pose. Now squeeze the inner thighs towards the midline. Tuck the tailbone under, and then find length through the upper back. So the thumbs, can you reach them back and higher? Spin the little fingers so they face towards the front of the room. Take an inhale. And then exhale, lengthening out the legs, fold all the way down. And you can keep some softness in the knees. They do not need to be straight. Take a breath in to root the fingers. And as you exhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat. And then drop the back knee down and uncurl the toes. As you inhale, take your arms all the way up to the sky in a low lunge. Magnetize the inner thighs towards the midline. Cinch in the sides of the waist and then gather everything up. Inhale, arms to the sky. Okay, now as you exhale, bend the elbows. And let the elbows move back like you're trying to squeeze the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Drop them down. And then inhale, lift back up. Extend through the front line of the body, little lean back as your fingertips are tight. Exhale, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades, keep the legs nice and strong. One more, inhale. Root the front foot, extend into the fingers, and then exhale, bend the elbows. And squeeze the elbows down towards the hips. Keep drawing the feet to center until the hands drop all the way down. Inhale, arms come to the sky. This time, palms come together, exhale, bend the elbows. Now even spread into the fingers, like make everything active. And then inhale to lift the elbows, keep rooting the feet. And then take the arms all the way up to the sky. Low belly draws up and in. Exhale, hands to the ground. Tuck the back toe under, raise the back knee. And then really root down into the hands to round the spine and step the left foot back. Downward facing dog. On your inhale, come high up to your tiptoes. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, just to find a little bit of buoyancy here. Now, tuck the tailbone under so that the lower back rounds. And then we're going to ride this round. So the lower back is rounded, and as we begin to lengthen the legs and begin to send the shoulders forward over the wrists, the whole of the spine rounds until you make your way to plank. We're going to go in the opposite direction. Exhale, tuck the chin. Bend the knees and then pull up from upper back, mid back, lower back. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, bend your knees, look forward. You can walk, step or hop to the top of your mats. Knees are bent. Inhale, Utkatasana. Squeeze the inner thighs, tuck the tailbone, ripple that heart up towards the sky. Little fingers spin in, sides of the waist draw in, and as we tilt the tailbone under, go longer through the upper back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, hands plant down. The left foot steps to the back of the mat, and exhale, drop the back knee down. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, arms come all the way up to the sky. Magnetizing the feet together, this is like this strength in the legs, and then arms come all the way up. Little fingers spin in, more space in the shoulders. Cinching in the sides of the waist, go a little bit taller through the chest, and then exhale, bend the elbows, and again, sweep them back like you're bringing your elbows towards your hips, and then inhale, arms lift high. Ripple through the spine as you lift your fingers high. Exhale to bend the elbows, spread into the fingers so everything is super, super active. One more, inhale. Arms to the sky, low belly in, and then exhale to bend the elbows. Inhale, the arms lift. This time palms touch. Keep squeezing the feet towards the midline. Exhale, bend the elbows. Press even the fingers together. Lift up from the elbows so you're stretching through the triceps, and then extend arms to the sky. Exhale, hands come down. Frame the front foot. Tuck the back toe under, raise the back knee, and we'll step back into downward facing dog. So root the hands, right foot back. Inhale, high on tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, curl the tailbone under so that the lower back rounds. And then as you begin to lengthen the legs, roll through the spine. So low back, mid back, upper back, pull the chest through plank. Exhale, tuck the chin, bend the knees, round the upper back, the mid back, the lower back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Let it all go as you exhale. And then bend the knees, look forward. Walk, step or hop to the top of your mat. Bend the knees. Come back into a chair pose, inhale. Squeeze the inner thighs together, extend through the fingers. But now this time, let's make it a little bit more flowy. So exhale, drop the hands down, and as you do, melt your chest down to the ground. And then bow the head, begin to lengthen the legs and roll up through the spine to standing. Keep a softness in the knees, a tuck in the chin. Don't worry if it takes a couple of times to get the shoulders rolled back. Inhale, bend the knees, arms to the sky, chair pose, but then exhale, we drop. We melt the chest down towards the thighs, lift the hips. And then dropping the head, begin to roll back up to standing. One more like that, shoulders roll back, bend the knees. Ripple through the arms, chair, and then exhale, drop the belly down to the thighs, hips lift nice and high. And inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Keep that softness in the knees, and then this time, bend the knees. Arms come to the sky, but as they do, so does the right knee. Stork pose. Now root the left foot, and as you root the left foot, lift your right knee higher. Squeeze the inner thighs towards the midline, and extend into the fingers. As you exhale, soften the left knee a little bit. We've got buoyancy here. And then begin to take the right foot back, slow motion. Let the heart reach forward until the toes find the back of the mat. Inhale, arms to the sky, high lunge. Squeezing inner thighs together, hips kind of heavy, but then lengthening through the sides and the waist. Exhale, bend the elbows. And as you do, let the fingertips spread wide, elbows chase the hips coming down. Inhale, arms back up to the sky. Exhale, bend the elbows, spread the fingers wide, puff up through the chest, drop the fingertips down. One more, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, bend the elbows. And then inhale, arms come to the sky. Bring your palms together, maybe lift the gaze if you feel steady. If not, gaze can stay low. And then bend the elbows, thumbs to the base of the neck. Rippling through the spine, lift the elbows higher. Inhale, arms lift one more time, and then exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, like you've got this big sense of release. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone. Lower back rounds and begin to ripple forward to plank. Rooting down through the feet, drawing this whole line of energy through the body. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, opposite, tuck the chin. Round the upper back until you glide back to your downward facing dog. Take a breath in. On your exhale, bend your knees, look forward. You can walk, step or hop to your feet behind your wrists. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms to the sky. Let's do one ripple in chair. Exhale. Drop the hands, drop the belly towards the chest. Hands stay low as the hips go high. Inhale, chin tucks, begin to come all the way up to standing. Exhale, shoulders roll back, bend the knees. Inhale, arms to the sky. Left knee comes up to the chest in stork pose. Root the right foot, extend through the fingers. And then slow motion, we'll make our way back. So let the hands drop down by the hips. Soften the right knee. Chest reaches forward as the toes go back slowly until they find the back of the mat. Inhale, arms to the sky, high lunge. Now squeeze the inner thighs to the midline, tuck the tailbone, draw the belly in, and then lift up through the chest. Exhale, bend the elbows, spread the fingers. Then inhale, take the arms high. Exhale, bend the elbows, spread the fingers, lift the chest. Inhale, arms go high. One more, exhale. Bend the elbows. Hips, elbows move to the hips, and then inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, palms together. And then bend the elbows, and from here, lift up through the triceps. Squeeze the inner thighs and middle of the waist in, and then one more big stretch into the fingertips. And exhale, take your hands down. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale to melt in. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone, and then begin to ripple forward. Now keep the hands and the feet strong on the mat as you lift front body to back body, pull the chest through. Exhale, bend the knees, tuck the chin. Round the upper back, the mid back, the lower back. Downward facing dog, take a full breath in. Now this time come back up onto the tiptoes. As you exhale, bend your knees, curl your tailbone under and begin to ripple forward to your plank pose. And then exhale, drop the knees and come all the way down to lying on your belly. Point the toes. Tuck the tailbone under, draw the belly away from the ground and then sweep your fingertips back towards your heels. As you inhale, roll the fronts of the shoulders back so the chest begins to lift. Soften the elbows so that you can squeeze the tops of the arms together and then pull the chest forward. On your next inhale, lift the feet, lift the knees. As you exhale, think longer. So crown the head forward, toes back. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, longer. And then gently come all the way down. Rest on your left cheek, let your shoulders soften. And just take a second here. And take some really big breaths, like you're trying to just bring yourself back down for a second. And then gaze comes back to center and we'll go one more time. Tuck the tailbone, pull the lower belly up and away from the ground. On your inhale, roll the shoulders back, peeling the chest off the ground. Bend the elbows, magnetize the tops of the arms together, spread right the way into the fingers. On your inhale, the legs lift, knees lift. Squeeze the inner ankles together. On your exhale, can you think longer? Inhale, lift. Exhale, longer. And then come all the way down, resting on the right cheek. Let everything soften down to the ground. Big breaths. And when you're ready, your hands come by your rib cage, elbows squeezing towards the midline. Tuck your toes and make your way back into a downward facing dog. And again, like right at the very start, just take a second where you're really trying to focus on being still. Find some stability here. Create space among the across the shoulders, across the collarbones. Front rib cage draws in, the forearms lift up and away from the ground, the feet and the hands are strong. And then as you exhale, bending your knees, bringing your gaze forward, walk, step or hop, the feet behind the wrists. Let's do one more Utkatasana. Inhale, bend the knees. Inner thighs squeeze in, tailbone tucks as you ripple the chest up to the sky, lifting thumbs back and high. And then come up onto the tiptoes, still squeeze the inner thighs, lift up through the knees. And then exhale, slow motion. Bring your bum down to your heels. And drop the knees down to the mat. Okay, camel pose. We'll start with like an easier variation. If you want to add on and progress, feel free. If you want to stay with this, not a problem. Hands are gonna come kind of like to mid-ribs. We're gonna press the thumbs into the back and squeeze the elbows towards the center. Squeeze the inner thighs in, tuck the tailbone, and then begin to ripple through the front of the body. So knees are hip distance apart, but we're magnetizing them in. Lower belly pulls up and in, and then begin to ripple from belly button to chest. Squeezing the elbows in, puffing up, and that space where the thumbs are, can you maybe lift? So not necessarily a lean back, but a lift up at the chest, the gaze. Squeezing the inner thighs, feeling the glutes fire up. And then as you exhale, sit back onto the heels. Bring your hands onto your thighs and close your eyes. Take a second to feel whatever you feel. Second to breathe. And we'll go for one more round. And like I said, if full camel is in your practice and you want to go with full camel, feel free. If you would rather stay with me, hands on ribs, great, when you're ready. Up to kneeling, knees hip distance apart. Hands come onto the rib cage, thumbs on the back. Elbows squeeze back towards one another. Inner thighs squeeze in, glutes fire up. Inhale, pull up from the belly button. Begin to ripple through the belly, through the chest, lifting that chest towards the sky. In that place where the thumbs are, can you lift it higher? Can you go longer? And the gaze drops back a little bit. Keeping that lift up through the waist, cinching in the sides of the waist. Whenever you're ready, coming all the way back down, sitting back on your heels, bringing your hands onto your thighs and closing your eyes. Take a full breath in. And let it all go, exhale. And blink open your eyes. Shift your weight forward, tuck your toes. Inhale, reach the arms forward, and then can you squeeze the inner thighs together, lean back, lift the knees, and then exhale, bring yourself down onto your bottom. Use your hands if you need to, and then roll all the way down onto your back. Okay. So bringing your heels so that they're tickling, so your fingers can tickle them, so quite close towards you, feet hip distance apart. First round, of back bends, we're gonna go with bridge, and then if you want to add on to wheel, then feel free. Okay, so magnetizing the heels towards one another, pull your low belly up and in. Tuck the tailbone slightly already, and then begin to ripple through the spine. So still squeezing the inner thighs towards the midline, squeezing the shoulder blades together underneath you. Think about that lift up of the belly and then of the rib cage. Can you lift the ribs just as much as you are the low back? Can you squeeze the heels down towards the earth? Keep a little bit of a gap in between the chin and the chest. Breathing here. Keeping that strength through the back of the body, through that back line and that openness, that expansiveness through the front body. And when you're ready, coming all the way down. And just resting here. Palms face up, collarbones nice and wide, breathe. We'll go for one more round of back bends. So if wheel is in your practice and you want to take wheel, feel free. If you would rather take bridge, take bridge. If you want to miss them out completely and stay as you are, not a problem. If you are taking wheel, bring your hands by your shoulders, fingertips facing back, squeezing the elbows towards the midline, rooting down into the base of the thumb and into your index finger. When you're ready, on your inhale, we're going to press up, so pressing into the hands, pressing into the feet. Okay, so I'm going to cue wheels, so squeezing the inner thighs towards each other, thinking about growing long through the sides of the waist, curving the heart back towards the feet, and then maybe you have more space to walk the feet in. Elbows magnetize towards center, as if you're spilling your elbow creases towards you. Keeping that strength in the legs, keep pulling the heart, the back of the heart towards the toes. Low belly draws up and in. There is strength as you root down to help lift up. Remembering to breathe here. Keeping that strength, that straightness in the arms. And then whenever you're ready, coming all the way down. And again, just resting. Before you move, just rest. Maybe bring one hand onto the belly, one hand onto the chest. Sometimes this is like such a nice reminder of breath. Find that width across your collarbones, that heaviness through the back of the body. And taking as long here as you need. If you need longer, feel free to stay. Otherwise, blinking open the eyes. Bringing your hands onto your thighs. And as you inhale, peeling the back off the ground, bringing your hands towards your knees. As you exhale, squeezing the inner thighs together, lift the legs to Navasana. On your inhale, lift up, fingertips reaching forward. On your exhale, drop the feet. And slide the hands all the way back down to the hips. And we'll go again. Inhale, hands slide up to knees. Exhale, release the legs. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, feet drop. Slide all the way down. Back to line. We'll go for one more. Inhale. Hands to knees. Exhale, release the legs. Squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale to lift. Exhale, drop the feet and roll all the way down. Slowly, slowly, slowly hit every single vertebra on the ground. And then gently draw your knees into your chest, bringing them wide as your armpits. Okay, so you can stay here if this is enough for you. If you would like to come into happy baby, either taking hold of the outer edges of the calves, ankles, feet with the hands, feel free. And just find a little bit of length through the low back. So rather than like finding this really big curve where you're tucking your knees into your armpits, can you make your back nice and long and really press the backs of the shoulders down? You can add a little sway if you'd like from side to side. And finding a heaviness through the backs of the shoulders, through the inner hips. And keeping that breath nice and steady, nice and slow. And soften your face, in between your eyebrows, your jaw, your nose. And then gently release. Bring your knees towards your center. Just circle the legs out a couple of times. And this can be legs together, it can be legs completely separate, whatever feels nice. And then bringing the knees together, take both of them over towards the right hand side and bring your left arm out like a cactus arm beside you as your right hand comes onto your knees. Find width across your collarbones, a heaviness in the chest and in the shoulders, a softness in the face. Focus on big, big, big breaths. And when you're ready, come back to center, go the other way. Legs to the left, left hand on top, right arm out. Cactus arm. Heaviness in the shoulders, in the hips. Length through the right side of the waist. Beginning to slow your breath down as if you're slowly already making your way ready for Shavasana. And then coming back to center. Maybe finding one last little wiggle with the legs. And then if there is anything you would like to do before Shavasana, like grab a jumper, then feel free. Otherwise, just coming down to lying on your mat. When you get there, spin your palms so they face up. Let your collarbones be super, super wide. Focus on a fullness to your breath. Can you fall in love with your breath? Can you become interested in it in a way that is so consuming that for the next few minutes, that's all you think about? Give yourself this little bit of time where you just get to breathe.